Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. It took a little bit longer to get our fans and our players off the field, and so these are special nights. It was great to see our students in full force, and then I got the heck out of the way with Tim Harkins. We are starting to learn a little bit maybe from our other games, but you know, I think these are wins that help define a program, another building block. We believe the University of Missouri is a good football team. I think they're going to win a lot of games. They're athletic and they're well coached. Great deal of respect for Coach Odom. The conference they're from is a good conference, a really good conference. Certainly the game had a lot of ebb and flows. Tomorrow we'll watch the tape, and there's going to be things as coaches that we need to correct, but the effort was there. I think as a football team, we're certainly stronger than we were last year. It became apparent to me at the beginning part of the game. We were able to establish the line of scrimmage and pop some runs, and while they may not have been big runs, it was certainly different than where we have been, and that started to add some things. Certainly Sean's athleticism, making plays with his legs and somewhat his arms, but he's a really competitive player. I know on the one touchdown he juked the linebacker and then stiffed arm a defensive back and took off and ran for a touchdown. It was great to see that. I thought our defense responded well, came up with a lot of turnovers, a lot of opportunistic plays, and we beat a good football team, and we beat them at home. I've told our fans all along there's going to be some defining games that you will attend and you will remember, and I think this is one of them, and we hope to move forward. However, it is one game, and we'll get ourselves ready to go. So at this time, any questions?
What was the difference, get off to a good start down 14-0, the offense wasn't giving up. What changed?
I think the biggest thing, we did come up with a stop on defense, which gave us some encouragement, but the biggest thing was just the takeaways we got. I mean, if you started looking at the takeaways that occurred, I mean, they were still moving the football at halftime. I was looking at numbers and talking to coaches. I knew we were going to be in for a battle. But I think the takeaways, and then we had big plays offensively, whether it was Sean's run or X's run, those are certainly big plays. And then, like I said, the defense coming up with some big plays also. Yes.
Coach, can you talk about the play of the offensive line, opening holes, physicality you talked about? Is that something that is almost night and day from last year?
I don't know. We're going to let the season bear out, but I've always said, any head coach that knows exactly how their football team's going to be in the first game is being less than honest. But I said somewhere between the first and the second quarter, usually you have a pretty good indication, and that was encouraging for me. I looked at the beginning part and I said, okay, they were doing some things. It wasn't like they were in a run front that was a bend but don't break run front. They had their guys up there, and I don't want to get technical, but it was going to be a front that was hard to run in, and we were getting some yards and a couple times some pretty good yardage. And so, we've made strides there. I think we want to credit the strength and conditioning staff. Our guys are bigger and stronger. Our running backs are maybe a little bit more powerful. And then I think we've got an athletic quarterback. And then, we changed some schemes and changed some coaches, and I think all those were good moves, and it was indicated tonight.
Ballard had a big game, but a couple of other guys came up with some big rushes.
Right.
Do you feel like you have a better balance with your running game?
Yes, we do. We thought Trey Smith did some good things, and then Titus Swain all along in fall camp has been showing that he's beyond being a freshman. He's an explosive guy, and this stage was not too big for him. We talked in our pregame meal that if you're out there as a freshman, the coaches believe in it, and we think you're going to go out and make a big play, which I thought Titus played well. Yes.
You mentioned the turnovers. I think they had 6 or 7 red zone trips, but only got 24 points out of those. 4 fumbles and out of 5, you scored a defensive touchdown. Did you think you needed some of those aspects if you were going to win this?
I did. I thought we were going to, I don't know what the turnover margin was. Did we even turn the, we had,
Yeah, y'all can turn it over.
yeah, we didn't turn it. I thought two, going in, I thought two would give us a shot. And, as I watched the ebb and flow of the game, Davis, I knew there was a certain portion where if we weren't getting those turnovers, we were going to be chasing points, and then we'd have to change what the style of offense we have, which is out of our comfort zone. And then I also looked and said, all right, we've dodged a lot of bullets here. Sooner or later, we're going to come up with some stops. And even in that last drive, to come up with a stop there was huge for us. And so all those turnovers count. And those are things typically in early games. The things that really can make a difference are penalties. I thought we were fairly clean. There was a couple things we were disappointed in. We had a substitution error and a couple other things, but I thought we were pretty clean on penalties tonight. And then, the other thing, we took care of the football. We took care of the football, and we took the ball away from them, and that made a big difference. Yes, go ahead.
Game where, they're rallying, you just, it's third and short, you get a couple of those first downs, whether it was a run or the pass. Is that a little disappointing?
Well, it was concerning because I knew we were treading on thin ice, Robert. I mean, at one point we were up 17 points, and you also knew the style of offense that they have. They can come back and strike, and so to be able to stay on the field was going to be important. We had one poor punt, and I thought Ryan came up with another great punt, which is a credit to him. He really drilled one and put him, I think, down. It was deep in their territory. I believe we came up with some points off of that punt, and so between the field position on the punting game and our defense, but yeah, those are things that we'll watch. I'll watch with our offense and defensive staff and say, how are we going to get better? What's our next step to get better from game one to game two to get ready to play Texas State? Yes.
For all the success you have in the ground, Sean, only 6 for 16 through the air, just a couple throws in the end zone, to hear one lady could put that thing away. What did you attribute that to? Is that concerning at all?
Well, I wouldn't say concerning, but it's an area of significant improvement, just not improvement, significant improvement. We've got to be more balanced. We knew all along that he could make plays with his legs, and that's what he did last year. And we had the playbook open more. Some things he executed okay, but there's going to be certain things that he's got to improve. But what's great is we beat an SEC team, I think a good SEC team, and we didn't play our best football.
How proud are you of the resolve of this young group to go down not only 14, but have Chambers misfire there in the end zone and it's hard to wide open? You still kept.
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing all that up. That's all part of a culture, and we've talked about that, and I think sometimes those words are overused, but that's part of a foundation where you don't have, okay, you're not playing your best, don't press, keep believing, keep on encouraging, don't get negative, maybe have to change some of your game plan a little bit, but stay in the fight. And, I did think when we were down 14-0, when we came up with a couple stops, then, okay, now we settled down, now we're going to get a couple drives, now we scored, and we came up with a couple big plays, and then at halftime you went, and we mentioned to our football team saying, okay, take this game in the fourth quarter and see how teams respond, because when it's that competitive and things are going to get decided, then you find out about the resolve of your football team. And there was things that we can do to maybe have put the game away, but we got to work on that. We didn't do that. Certainly things defensively we got to improve on, but to come up with a great stop on the fourth down play and get some pressure was great.
You mentioned kind of a program-defining victory. I mean, I know in 2016 you beat Boise. Maybe it was the most defining one to this point. Would you agree with that? Or was this one?
Oh, it's hard to say because there's all steps that you come into play. This is for me personally, Robert, there's a long history that I have with the University of Minnesota, not Minnesota, but Missouri, simply because knowing what type of program they have, and then knowing Coach Odom, and then also seeing what they've done a couple years ago. I mean, they were vying for the national championship, so we beat a valid SEC team at home, and our fans had a chance to embrace it and see it. And those are the things we kind of been waiting on. Everybody talks, okay, Coach, when are we going to win a Power 5 game? Well, we did. And it was a great win, and we not only won it, but we won it at home. And I think those are things that our state can celebrate. Yes.
What does it say that your quarterback only throws for 92 yards, but you're still able to just completely dominate on offense?
Well, I don't know if we dominated, but I think what it does show is he's got ability to make plays and to improvise, and that's an encouraging thing because those are things sometimes that you cannot coach. Coach Vegan is a remarkable quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, and we'll work on those other things. So the ceiling's high. We'll watch that tape tomorrow. We're certainly going to love a lot of things we did, but then, it'll be kind of back to work and say, we got to improve on these things. So I think the future is bright. We have to recognize that Sean played 4 games last year, and he's still a young quarterback. He's got a lot of football ahead of him. Our football team believes in him as a quarterback, and we appreciate his competitive nature and his playmaking ability.
Have you seen a happier locker room in your life than what's going on?
Oh, yeah, they were throwing, yeah. We need more of that. You know what? We need to sing ragtime more, and we need to have more of those celebrations, and those are also parts of building blocks. And I mentioned to Tom Berman, what we're striving to do here is stay away from the heavy ebbs and flows, to establish a really good football program to where people come to the game and they look either on TV or in the stands and go, you know what, the Cowboys are just better. They're just better. And I don't know if we're to that point, but we won a big game tonight. Yeah.
Did you get any news on injuries or come out okay?
We had a lot of guys cramp up, but I was not informed that anybody was done.
Okay, you mentioned the Power 5, getting over that hurdle. You guys have obviously had a bunch of teams come in here, not be able to win it, you win this one. Where does this win rank for you?
You know what? I'm going to reserve judgment for a couple days. I'm going to sidestep that question. This is another step, though. This is a quality opponent that's from a really good conference that is well coached, that's well stocked with athletes, and we beat. And so I think it's a big, big game for us. Big win.
Did they throw water on you?
Oh, they're throwing water everywhere. Some of it went on my head, yes.
You talked just a little bit about the crazy end of that first half. They had 2 long drives.
Yep.
One, you lost 2 reviews, and they got down to the 5, and you held them to the field goal. And then the next time down, they got down to the 1, and you turned it into the field goal together. That's kind of like.
Those are plays that I looked at and said, usually when you get those plays, you win. You win the game simply because they change the momentum. They turn the game. You've bent, the field positions change. They come up, they get a field goal, and then all of a sudden they're all the way down there. They're going to probably score, and next thing you know, we pick up the ball and we get a field goal. I mean, the time was going to run out, and I think they called, I don't know if it's horse collar or something, and, we looked and I said, where's the ball going to be? And you got an untimed play, and when you got Cooper Roth, that's money right there. And that was another 3 points in the bank. So that gave us a really, really good position going into half. However, I can tell you there wasn't a coach or a player at halftime felt like, okay, we got this game in the bag. And it was apparent there. It was going to take everything we had in the tank. But those plays, typically when they happen, you look down and say, okay, the football gods are with us tonight.
That last drive, were you worried at all about fatigue, depth at that point?
Our team, yes. I mean, if you were taking note, I don't know how many cramped up guys you had, and that's what they do, and they're a well-stocked, they got good athletes that are heavily recruited, and so the disparity sometimes between depth in programs becomes apparent, and we were in a pretty tenuous position, and so it was great for us to get a win.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Why don't you start us off?
Congratulations. I know we talked earlier this week. It's your first game back. You got hurt against Missouri, but man, made some big plays. How did it feel to be out there and take us through the big plays you made? I mean, did you envision something like this tonight?
Man, the coaches just put me in the right position to win and go make plays, preparation. We just prepared these last couple weeks through fall camp. They was just on us tough, and we was just grinding it out. That's all it was.
What did you see on the phone recovery? How'd that play develop the scoop and score?
I just got off the block. He created the fumble. I just picked it up and tried to go score. I know we need points. Defensive touchdowns, that's big. So if you get those, I feel like you can get a win.
They went up 14-0 relatively easy in the first two drives. What were you guys saying to each other in the home sideline about going out for the next possession?
We just got to stay calm because as the corner group, it was a big task on us this week, just taking care of the deep ball, you know, they was going to take shots and attack us, and we just had to take care of that, and we just let everything else take care of itself.
How tough was it? I mean, you know, you're up 17 and they make a run at you guys late, and you guys, I know guys were cramping up. I don't know if you were, but how hard was it late with fatigue and everything, although you were able to get a stop and ultimately win the game? How hard was it down the stretch?
You know, it's hard. It's a lot of pressure. But like I said, we prepared for it, and we trained in Laramie, so, you know, we built for it. Cowboy tough, and we just had to make plays, you know.
How tired were you guys in that last drive?
Very, very tired. You know, throughout the game, we had to get off the field. You know, it was big for us to get off the field on third downs, fourth downs, all that. We just had to make plays on defense. It was a lot of weight on our shoulders.
What was the game plan coming in against Kelly Bryant? I mean, was there more of a focus on one aspect than the other?
We know he could play. You know, he was 16-2 at Clemson. We knew he could play ball. We just had to go out there and play with him, take care of the deep ball. That was the biggest thing this week. Cutoffs. Coach Rich stressed that. Coach Bowl, Coach Dickert, just everybody. So, you know, it was a lot of pressure on us, so we had to just take care of the deep ball.
More questions? Thanks, CJ.
No problem. Thank you.
Logan Wilson. Davis, why don't you go ahead?
Sure. Logan, I mean, not many people gave you guys a chance in this game, 18-point dogs in Vegas, and just what was the mindset coming in? What ultimately do you think led to this?
I think ultimately we weren't, focused on as much as what they were going to do as much as what we needed to do. We needed to focus on ourselves, limit mistakes. Obviously, we made mistakes. We can play better on both sides of the ball, all three facets of the ball for that matter. But our guys came out and executed, and we came away with the win. I can't ask for much more. So,
what changed after the first two drives, Logan? You guys are down 14-0. What changed for you guys? For the team, as a defense? I don't know if I have an exact answer for that. I think we just, settled in and just stayed in the fight. There's going to be times of adversity, like I've said multiple times before. We were down 14 points, like you said, and we just, we continued to fight and just continued to execute the game plan as best as we could, and we came away with the win. So,
Logan, you've been here a long time, man. How satisfying is this, and where does this one rank for you?
Probably up top for my senior year opener to, knock off an SEC opponent at home. I can't ask for much better. It's just a great way to start my senior year off.
You being from Wyoming, on top of that,
yeah.
You think it's even bigger for you?
Yeah. I mean, when the crowd was storming, I was just looking around, just enjoying the moment because, moments like these don't always happen. So I was really just trying to, relish that moment and live in the moment, and I think I did that. So.
When you look at a win like this, as opposed to the last 3 years, was there something different about the team this year, you think, that created this opportunity?
I think we just kind of had a little chip on our shoulder. That's just kind of how I think Wyoming teams have been since Coach Bull's been here. We knew that we could compete with them. Obviously, we're going to have to play well. But to come away with a win is, more than satisfying for us. And we're going to enjoy this one for 24 hours, and then we'll move on to Texas State.
Of course, 3 turnovers. It seemed a little bit like the defense a couple years ago. Forcing turnovers in key situations.
I mean, our goal is always to get the ball back to the offense, whether that's getting out the field on third down, fourth down, getting a fumble, an interception, whatever we got to do to get the ball back to our offense, just to give them as many opportunities as they need to score. So, and it's a team game.
I know they had success moving the ball all night, over 500 yards of offense, but was there something in particular y'all had to adjust to after those first 2 drives?
We didn't know exactly, how they were going to use the quarterback, Kelly Bryant. So we figured that out, and I think, we gave up a lot of yards of offense, but, we made plays when it mattered most, and I think that's why our team came away with the win tonight.
Anything surprise you about the way they used him? tonight?
I don't know if it surprised me. We just, you just never know what to expect. You always try to, offenses try to scheme based on what their quarterback skill set is. We expected some read zone type stuff. That's what we got, and so we just kind of adjusted, and, we made plays when it mattered.
Fatigue, how big of a factor was that going out for that last drive? How tired were you guys?
You just got to find that underdog mentality in you. That fatigue, you can't make that an excuse. There's no excuses. So we just made plays when it mattered most, like I said.
So what did you say anything to each other before you went out for that last drive as a defense?
No, I mean, we've always talked about it. We want to be in those situations where, our team relies on us to get a defensive stop, to get off the field and win a game. So we had that moment, and, obviously we can play better on all three facets of the game. But, like I said, we made plays when it mattered most and came away with a win.
Thanks, Logan.
Perfect. Thank you.
How you guys doing?
Congratulations. Big run for you. If you could take us through it, what happened? It looked like it right in the middle, wide open, and just went. What did you see there?
Really, coach just put me in a position just to make a play. I just went through my reads, and I seen the wide open hole, and I just accelerated through it and seen the end zone.
What do you like about you got the start, but Trey did some things, even Titus did some good things. How do you? That's going to be the rotation as this season goes. What do you like about it, and what did you like from your two teammates tonight? What you saw from them?
We all just bring something different to the table. We all have different running styles, and the plays that Trey and Titus got. They made the most of those. Whether if it was making them miss tackles, or just making big plays. So, kudos to them for just doing what they can just to make us get this win tonight.
When you get on the top of the depth chart this year, after going through last year, how big was tonight's game for you to come out and have a big game?
It was real big, just the motivation, from last year's game carrying into this one. I really thought that last year's, gave me a little motivation. I thought I did my part, and I want to give credit just to the defense, and I'm really speechless right now because it's just a big win tonight, and just thank God for it.
I know you guys pride yourselves on being physical up front, but did you ever imagine you'd average 7 yards a pop against this defense?
Whatever is possible, I'm thankful for it. I just play fast, play hard, just control what I can control.
What were some of the looks they were giving you guys up front defensively that you thought you guys took advantage of in the running game?
Just different looks as far as like 4-2, 3-4, just that base defense. We just took advantage of that and, just came out and executed.
Back-to-back 100-yard games for you. How does that feel?
Feels great. I just, I can't say it enough. I give all the praise to God, because He's in control of my life, and I'm just so thankful right now. Just a little speechless.
How's the party going in there right now?
It's crazy. I mean, everybody's jumping around, throwing water bottles. I couldn't get my hair wet, so shoot, man, it's electric in there. It's good to see those guys smiling, laughing around. We just got to enjoy it. This next 24 hours, we're back to work next week.
Does it change expectations in that locker room, or what you think you guys are capable of this season when you go out and beat an SEC team?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Does it change the expectation in the locker room, or what you feel like you guys are capable of this year when you go out and beat an SEC team to start the year?
No, it doesn't change anything. We always talked about playing Cowboy tough, playing Cowboy football, and, that's just something we just got to keep doing.
What were your thoughts on the crowd tonight, John?
They were electric, shout out to the fans for sticking in there. Those fans are, man, I thank them for coming out, supporting the Stripe Out, supporting us, supporting the Cowboy Nation, and, shout out to the fans. We love you and we appreciate you guys. We won't let you down.
How difficult was it, if at all, to watch that last drive and hope the defense can hold?
It wasn't difficult at all because, we practice these situations in practice every week. So, like I said, all we can do is control what we can control.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Sean will be in just a little bit. Hey, Sean. Sorry. I understand that.
Congratulations on a
Thank you.
good start. Gutsy win for this team. Just kind of first assess your playing and just what does this win mean to you?
My playing, it wasn't perfect by any means. To my standards, subpar. But the bigger thing is we got a W, and we're 1-0. We're in the win column now, and we got some momentum going to Texas State. So I feel good. There's some things we got to go back in and work on and clean up, and I think we will. But the biggest thing is we got a W tonight.
What was subpar? Was it was passing? Maybe not,
Yeah.
Third shorts that could have sustained drives that you guys didn't get. What was subpar in your mind?
It was a combination of stuff. There's some throws I should have made for sure, and there's some throws I made all the time, and tonight I just didn't make them. Some stuff on third down, the way we handle things, I think it was like 11 minutes or so, and I wish we would have converted that third down, stayed on the field a little longer. But, that's the nature of the game. You're going to win some and lose some battles, and I'm glad we won the big one tonight.
At the same time, what do you attribute being able to run the ball so well, almost 300 yards?
I don't know. I can tell you number 6, that guy has put in a lot of work this offseason, and I'm ecstatic for him. He truly deserves it. He's our core of running backs right now, and he's our guy, and we're going to follow him. And it really starts with him. When he's running the ball well, they got to keep both of us, and it opens up lanes for both of us. So I think I'm attributing it all to him.
Were there certain fronts that you saw from them that you thought you could exploit in the running game?
Yeah. We were on Mizzou for about 8-9 days or so, and I think Coach Vegan put together a great game plan in the running game. And in the second quarter, he just called some great plays and some great looks, and we exploited them. It was a collection of stuff out there that we saw, but everything that we practiced for, I think we got tonight, and that's a good feeling.
So that touchdown run, there was a little bit of a hop at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going to do. I wanted to dive because I thought I was going to get caught, but then I kind of didn't know how to dive, I guess you can say. I guess you could say I'm like some athletic kid, if that makes sense. So, I really didn't know what to do. I just wanted to get in the end zone, and I kind of fell to my face, so sorry.
What did you see when you broke through the line? Did you have to bounce outside and step on the guy?
The first thing I saw was my receiver. He was blocking, downfield and doing a great job. He set that block up. If that corner's free, he's a free hat on a tackle. But, anytime I see space and guys, I just got to think to myself, I'm better than them. No respect, no disrespect to those guys, but that's just my mentality. I got to think it's going to take more than one guy to bring me down, and, that's what I try to go in there.
How impressed were you with your young offensive line tonight? They kept you upright all night?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic for those guys. Those guys, they've been through, a heap of stuff, from, the media, just badgering, but those guys stepped up tonight against some big dudes over there. Those guys are not small, and they moved them, and they showed that they were tough, and I'm excited for things to come.
This gave a bigger test maybe than a lot of them because of the caliber of Missouri.
Yeah, but also it's our home opener. It's the first game of 2019. Everybody wants to see what we can do. Everybody wants to peek what the Cowboys are doing. So, Missouri's an SEC team, and that's cool. That's great. But I think the more exciting thing is our first game, and we just get to come out here and play football again. So I think that's what the exciting thing was.
You mentioned the passing game. You're just 6 for 16. Missed the pass to Josh, and then a couple late in the end zone. What did you attribute that to?
Yeah, just rushing things. Seeing things wide open and just rushing things, I guess you can say. It happens. I'm going to miss throws every now and again. Just throws like that are unacceptable. I can't miss those, and I got to be better. And this week, I'm really going to work on making my throws and doing everything right.
When you saw Josh that open, did your eyes get big? It was almost too open?
I don't know. It was one of those things where he's too wide open, I guess you can say, and he just rushed it and made a bad throw, unfortunately.
What were your nerves like early on, first couple drives?
I wasn't nervous. It was, I don't know. I was more excited than nervous, more anxious. And it wasn't like, oh, we're playing Missouri, I'm so nervous. It was like, okay, let's just get settled and let's play some ball. And I think after the first quarter, we settled in nicely and played some football, played what we can do, showed what we can do. So that's really what it was.
But obviously, there's a ton of build-up to this game. You guys are huge underdogs. Just to be able to pull this one out, what does it mean to you?
It's a great feeling. You know, you mentioned that we were underdogs. Anytime you can prove people wrong is put a smile on my face. You know, I've grown up being, you know, doubted and, you know, kind of hated on, but that just drives me. You know, when I saw that spread and that line, and I just wanted to prove everybody wrong, prove people wrong that, you know, didn't believe in us and that didn't give us a chance. And I'm ecstatic that we can do that tonight.
When Battle they busted out that huge run, do you think it helped take some of the attention off of you so you could have your own big run?
Yeah, I think so. You know, those guys were over there talking, and he said, they were pointing at me saying, you're not going to be able to run the ball. You're not going to be able to run the ball. And 2 plays later, you know, X busted that run. And it was just funny because, like, I'm not the only guy that can run the ball. I'm still the quarterback, and we still have running backs on our team. So it was a neat feeling.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.